Hello, everybody, and welcome to Voices of the Goddess podcast, where we empower, inspire, and uplift women to be the goddesses they were meant to be. I'm your co-host, Julietta, the magical PT, and my regular day job is I'm a physical therapist, and I guide people in finding balance in their body, their mind, and their soul. And because when you don't have the balance there, it doesn't matter what we do to the physical body, that emotional, spiritual side is just going to pull us off. So looking at the whole picture and bringing them together. I also let people know I'm not your healer. I'm just the tour guide on your healing journey. You are the only one that can heal you. I just can help show you the way to get there. I was raised in the Midwest in Wisconsin. So you've got two Midwestern girls here. And I'm also an artist, a jeweler, an author, a community leader. What don't I do? I'm also a cat mom. And
right.
That's an interesting journey in itself as well. So, but I also want to welcome Allison, my co-host here. Good to see you this morning.
I know. Hello, everybody. My name is Allison Mancini, and I am also in South Florida, like Julietta, and a Midwest girl at heart. I grew up in Michigan, but I've been down here a really long time, just like Julietta. I have a wonderful husband, been married to him for 28 years. We have two adult children, 25 and 22, super proud of them. And I am a functional nutritionist and also human resources director for an amazing company called the Gold Digger Girl. And my passion really is in helping women be the best that they can be. And for me, that looks like from a nutrition standpoint, because I know myself, 14 years ago, I got really sick, and my way to recovery and to good health was through my lifestyle and changing my food and what I ate and, all the good things. And so I'm just really passionate about using our food as medicine, because it really can fuel our entire bodies if we give it the right stuff. They're amazing. Our bodies are amazing things. So I'm excited to be on here today, because we're actually going to talk a little bit about intuition. I was recently having a conversation with a friend, and we were talking about a difficult subject. It was a difficult conversation, but it was one of those moments where, and I know our audience can probably relate to this, where you debate if you should have that conversation, but you kind of get that feeling. You can, right down here in your gut. You know what I mean? Like you can just feel it. It just kind of like sits there and kind of feels like butterflies, not really, kind of feels like you might throw up. I don't know. It's like a mix of all that.
Now I have this visual of throwing up butterflies.
But it's that feeling in your gut, like you have to say something. And I cannot tell you the number of times that I look back over my life and, we've all been through difficult stuff, and I've been through difficult stuff. And I remember, this was like 10 years ago. A family member came to me and said, how do you know? Like, how do you know if something's not right during a particular situation? And I'm like, oh, you can feel it. Like you can tell, like if your gut is telling you that, you're probably like, hello, like what did they say? Right on the nose. Like that's it. So I find intuition, we need to listen. I mean, I know you talk about this all the time. Like you need to listen to your gut, to that intuition, wherever that comes from you.
And I don't know why so many people doubt it.
Yeah.
And it really just takes honoring it. Honor it one time and you'll just, that was my intuition speaking. It was right. Mm-hmm. The more you pay attention to it, the louder it will speak to you, the easier it will get to trust your intuition. Mm-hmm. This is a divine gift that every woman has. You just have to open yourself to it and be willing to allow. It's not, people ask like, how do you how do you grow it? And it's not, I don't feel so much like it's something that you actively pursue and do. It's more just being open to it, allowing it to happen and honoring it. Mm-hmm. And that process will allow it to grow as opposed to forcing it to come in. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And yeah, absolutely. And I think part of it too is people don't want to face what their intuition is telling them, right? Because
Sometimes it's difficult.
Sometimes it is difficult, not always, but sometimes it's difficult. So I think it's in those moments where you go, oh, it's easy to just ignore it because no one else knows it's happening but you, right? So, but I think you're right. I don't think it's something that you quote unquote grow, but if you pay attention, it's there. Like if you take a minute to be present and think about what's happening in your body and your mind, you'll feel it. You'll see, you know what I mean? Right? I mean, you just kind of, it's just there. So yeah, that's cool. So just a little conversation for this morning. All right. So should we bring our guest on?
Wait, season 2, we got a sponsor.
I forgot about our sponsor. How could I forget that? She's incredible. Oh my God. Go.
This episode of Voices of the Goddess is brought to you by Graciela Valdez Fine Art Photography. And Graciela is an award-winning, published, and professionally certified portrait photographer specializing in boudoir and personal branding. She creates custom and concierge portrait experiences that are transformative and life-affirming. Whether an intimate portrait honoring your highest self or a professional and engaging portrait for your business, she makes pictures of who you are, not just what you look like. And I've used Graciela for both boudoir and personal branding, and there is no one better than her. She is a self-confidence, self-esteem boost, and she will bring out the who you are in your picture. Like, you know, when she says that it's about who you takes pictures of who you are, not what you look like. It is so true. And I love the pictures that she's taken for me. And, you know, go through, look at her website. That all of her pictures are just amazing. She has truly a special gift.
We have to post that picture of you with the
Mamu. Oh, the one where from my personal branding. Okay.
Yeah, we have to post that. They are incredible. And Graciela, if you're listening to this, I did not forget you. We love you and you're amazing. And I can't wait for my pictures. So there you go.
Yes.
So
all right. Now we need to bring on our guest.
Yes. Hello, Inger. How are you?
Hello there. I'm fine, thank you. I want to have that picture taken.
She does beautiful work. I don't know. Maybe she'll.
Can she do it online?
Yeah, I know. Maybe she'll get a screen sometime. I don't know. So, Inger, please introduce yourself to our audience. Tell them, of course, where you're from and a bit about you and what you do.
Well, my name is Inger Nordin, as everybody can see, I guess. And I'm from Sweden, Stockholm, the capital of Sweden. I'm living in now. And I'm an author, life and business coach, you could say. But that's what I turned to after I retired at 65. I'm now 70 years old, and I actually was working in the corporate world for 35 plus years in management positions, but I never ever came to self-development as I've done now. And I mean, we were discussing before, what is a woman? How is a woman in a life where there's only male? And a lot of them turn into male pictures, if you like. But of today, I have been featured in 3 books.
Wow.
One is released today. I had my first one published in June last year. And then just in December, the one where I've written a chapter for Global Woman Club. And then today, another one.
That's
so
amazing.
I have been focusing a lot on books now.
That's why we love books around here. So that's awesome. Yeah, we love books. So that's incredible. So now you are a coach, correct?
Yeah, life and business coach, I would say. Yeah,
that's awesome. And what did you do in the corporate world? What did you?
Oh, a lot of my time was in sales.
Okay.
But I have management. I was what do you call that? Gosh, my English is gone.
No, it's okay.
I had people reporting to me. What do you call it?
Manager. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, manager.
You got it.
So I had that as well. So consultants and things. So I've been doing a lot of different things in the corporate world, you could say.
I love this because I hit the age of 50 and decided to completely do something totally different and go into holistic nutrition. So I love meeting women that are like you and me that, you know, that are willing. It doesn't matter the age. Like age is not just do what you want to do.
It's just a number. It's just a number.
Just a number, and you can try something new anytime you want.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I love
And
that.
never forget it.
Right.
Recreate yourself often.
I normally say I start my new journey when I was 65. What's your excuse?
I love that. Exactly. All right. Well, let's dive into our questions because I have a feeling we are going to learn lots of amazing things from Ingers.
Oh, you never know.
Our first question for you is ready? What is one book that you wish every goddess would read and why?
Oh, that is actually this book. The power. It's called The Secrets to Increasing Your Power, Wealth, and Happiness. How to Be in the Zone by Alan C. Waters. And it's all about how you can be aware of where you are in the different zones. You talk about red zone, where you are like not succeeding at all. Everything you do is going backwards almost. And then you have the yellow zone, where sometimes you're succeeding what you're doing, and sometimes you're failing. And then you move into the green zone, where everything is kind of smooth. And you can kind of get anything you want. And then you have actually a fourth zone called the yellow zone, gold zone, I mean. The gold zone, you know, when you feel like you are successful in whatever you do. So that is really a book I would recommend. Now, Alan has unfortunately passed away, but Seal Stanford has taken over the company, Advanced Coaching and Leadership Center in Texas.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Well, I want to be in that last zone.
Zone. And that's actually what I focus about now. Helping people kind of realize where they are and how they can move towards the other ones.
Yeah.
Because if you don't realize where you can share, is there a simple tip you can share how to get into that gold zone?
You have to pass the other one first. That's a tip. No, just focus. I mean, for me, it's all about focusing and being really present. Because when you are present, you get relationships working much better. You get like for instance, if you are looking at me and we are looking into each other's eyes, we can't do that properly just now. But I mean, then you connect in a different way, right? You connect with people. And if you're connecting with people, you get better relationship, you get better health, as you talked about, because you see the people. Like she that sees the people when she's photography, right? She's really connecting with you.
True, yeah.
So that is something that is really, really good. So I have a map where I have 12 different steps where they can identify where they are just now and then see what's missing.
Very nice. I love how you use that. That's amazing.
Thank you.
And I like that you talk about being present, because one of my strengths, which is also can be a downfall, is I am very futuristic thinking. So I'm constantly thinking of tomorrow and what we can do and how we can do it better. Like that's what I'm kind of, prone to think that way. The bad side of that is I have a very difficult time staying present in the moment of where I'm at and enjoying it and learning from it and all of that stuff. So that sounds like a really intriguing book. So you use a lot of that with your clients.
Yeah, I don't have them read through the book. It's kind of a bit tough to read through it the first time, at least for me, not having English as my native language, because you are advised to look up every word you don't understand.
Ooh. Yeah.
Because otherwise you can't get the concept of all of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've been, you could see, I've been through it several times.
Well, I'm impressed because I wouldn't be able to read a book in another language at all. So, yeah, that you can.
That was negative thinking.
I know. Okay.
Oh,
Learn how to speak a new language.
well, you
and
can
it's
learn.
a challenge too, because written language is different than spoken language.
Oh, yes. And this is also taking back, it's taking words that you never heard before. So there are words that you kind of, the ability paradigm, and things like you are not really aware of.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds right up my alley, that kind of a book. I would find that very intriguing.
It's actually Advanced Coaching Leadership Center by C. Stanford. They are having it. She actually has a Facebook group as well.
Oh,
So I can send that to you later so you can publish it.
yeah, that would be awesome.
And she does kind of trainings in that area.
Yeah.
I've been through trainings with her.
Awesome. Wonderful. All right. Question
you.
number 2. Are you ready?
I'm trying to.
What is your top self-care practice? How you like to take care of you? And how does it support you in your day-to-day?
Oh, well, Julieta, you will love this. I have my personal trainer 2 to 3 times a week.
Oh, nice.
And I really love it. And that is actually giving me the strength to move ahead. He actually tells me you should be a weightlifter. No, I said, that's not my career.
So he comes 2 to 3 times a week. Do you do just cardio? Do you do weight? Like, what do you do with him?
Weightlifting
Mostly. Okay. So for keeping your bones strong and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Because I've heard a lot about that. When you grow older, it's more important to kind of have the strength in your body than to walk a lot.
Yeah.
And I love that you have a personal trainer to come in. And we talk about this all the time. We all have our areas of expertise, but in our areas where we're not in the expert, it's great to pull in someone who that's their area of expertise to coach you through it and make sure you do it right. And,
exactly that last part, do it right. Because people say, you have done so much personal training now, so you could do it yourself. No, I said, partly because I'm lazy and partly because I love to know that I'm doing it right.
And it keeps you accountable.
Yeah, I go to the gym and there he is.
There you go. I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
All right.
So I have one more.
Okay.
Doing my gratitude process every morning.
Yes. We are both big believers in that. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because that is really, really important.
What does gratitude do for you?
Sets me up to win the day. I mean, I have a process I follow that is from SEAL, actually, from the beginning. It's about how you, what daily goal you're setting up for that day. Very shortly, though. And then willing to give to others is the second one. What are you willing to give to others? And then the third one is 10 things you are grateful for just now. And then the fourth one, value others do for me.
Say that again.
Value others do for me. That people forget, right? And then what am I happy about just now? And that actually, I am happy then when I've done this because you realize how much you have to be happy for.
So your first one is you reflect, you set your goal for the day, whatever that is.
Yeah.
The second one is what can you do for somebody else?
Willing to give to someone else.
And then you do 10 things you're grateful for.
Yeah.
And then you do say that one again, the value?
Value others do for you.
Value others do for you. And then the last one is, what are you happy about?
Yeah. And then you follow up in the evening with how well did I accomplish my goals?
Uh-huh.
What have I done well? So even if you haven't accomplished everything in your goal list, you have done things that are well and celebrate those, right?
Yes.
And then if I'm to be happier, what would that be?
Wow. I love that. I'm a big believer in celebrating your accomplishments because I think we are all so busy and we feel at the end of it. So sometimes we can feel at the end of a day like we just haven't done anything. We've just been spinning our wheels, right? And I think it's so important to recognize and to take a moment to reflect on your day and realize that yes, you have accomplished things. And sometimes they're as simple as like I know young mothers washing their hair is a big accomplishment one day, right? And then others of us, maybe not eating that extra, I don't know, cookie for dessert is a big accomplishment. I mean, whatever it is, we all accomplish things throughout the day. I love that you bring that up. Those are really great. I love
Yeah,
them.
it is. And I mean, that is really setting me up
Yeah.
for the day.
Yeah.
And also, if you can sit in silence alone, it's really good.
Yes. We are believers in that too. So
All right. We still got more questions, so we got to keep moving here.
Okay.
The third question is, when you're having a day that's difficult to show up, what tool do you pull out of your back pocket to make it happen?
I have to reflect back to my gratitude process because that is actually helping me along. But there are days when you are feeling like you need to do something extra. And I actually was, when I was working for IBM, there was a guy that said to me, when I'm feeling bad, I go and stand in front of the mirror and I start laughing. And if you start laughing to this crazy person that looks angry in the middle of you, because it's yourself, finally you start laughing to yourself and then you're really going happy. So that is one of the things that I love to share.
I might have to try that one someday.
Yeah, that's good. It's really good because you can't really not laugh to someone that is standing there trying to laugh to himself.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's awesome.
And laughter is contagious. So the next person you meet will also be happy.
Love that. All right. Our final question is, what life experience has most formed who you are today?
When I retired, because I sat there and is this all there is? Because I used to be in the middle of everything, and then all of a sudden I wasn't. So that was the thing that kind of kicked me in my butt and said, oh no, you know there are more. So I attended a Millionaire Mind intensive course by Success Resources. And that actually opened my mind and opened my eyes to there was so much more to do. And then I actually sold my car to afford to go on a quantum leap package they had. And I've never, ever regretted it. Because then they talked a lot about business and personal development has to go together. So that actually kicked me off. And then I have one more thing, and that is when I grew up, I moved 8 times before I finished high school.
Oof.
I can relate to that. I think I moved 7 times before 4th grade. So before I was 10. Yeah, that's tough. You learn how to adjust really fast, right?
Exactly. And that's the strength you get.
Yeah.
And you also you can feel what's happening around you because you know you need to fit in some way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I thought moving once in my childhood was traumatic. And to hear both of you ladies moving so much, like, how did that feel as a kid to
Being
have to show
drawn up by your roots. You don't have any friends from way back. right?
Yeah.
You have to learn to know new people all the time. And I
I think,
mean, one
yeah.
of the times I moved from the southern part of Sweden where I'm born
Mhm.
up to a place where my mom and dad came from. They moved back home. And I've learned afterwards that the people in my class, I moved there when I started third grade there. So I moved there. I came into the classroom. My dad followed me. And then the teacher put me on the desk and said, she's so nice. Be kind to her. And I was feeling like, oh. And that was really crazy. And then I learned afterwards that my classmates that they tried to talk like me.
Oh,
So it was like, oh,
yeah. I always found moving I think the hardest part was that you didn't have a choice.
yeah,
You just had, like, you figured it out. You had to
yeah,
figure it out. But the good side of it, and you bring that up, Inger, is that, like, as an adult, not that it's ever gets any easier or necessarily comfortable, but I know that I can go into a situation and meet people pretty
yeah,
well, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and that is definitely something you have to learn when you're moving that much.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really good.
Yeah,
That's
it
good
is good.
learning from it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's good. So Julieta, you moved as well, you said.
Just
How many
one
times
time.
did you? One is okay. You're way behind
As a
us.
child, I moved once, and it felt super traumatic to me
Mhm.
that all the kids that I grew up with, I was no longer with them and had to
Mm,
make new friends, and definitely spent a lot of time feeling like the outsider. And even no matter how long I had been there, my friends, they had all been friends since they
mm,
were
Mhm.
little,
mm.
and um, so no matter how much they accepted me, I still always felt like the
The
outsider.
outsider. Yeah. I
Yeah.
can relate to that because what you actually do is that they're talking about all the friends they have had since childhood, right?
Remember when? No, I
Yeah.
don't remember when because I wasn't.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm actually in the chapter I've written in the book by Global Woman Club, Tap Into Your Power. I'm actually talking about the hidden strength of vulnerability.
Ooh. That goes into do you ever read Brene Brown's work?
Oh, I haven't heard of her.
Oh,
I have
you
to
need
write
to
it
check
down.
her out. You would like her. Check out Brene Brown do what's the one? Gifts of Imperfection. You will
Mm,
love it. It's all about vulnerability.
mm.
And basically how we need to use it, and it's there, and just have to deal with it. And it's very, very good. You would like it very much. And she might have it. You might be able to find it translated too. I'm not sure.
Oh, it doesn't matter if it's in English.
Yeah, it's really good. And yeah, you know what? I think in going back to the idea of moving so much, I often wonder some of those, like, childhood friends that I had, because I moved all before the age of 10. So they
Mm,
were, I was very young, but I often think of those, like, best friends that I had back then. I'm like, I wonder where they are now. Like,
mm,
I wonder whatever happened to them. And,
mm.
because then after that, I was in the same place until I moved to Florida. So a lot of my
Okay.
friends that I grew up with are still my friends to this day. So
Mm.
I know what they do as adults, but it's interesting. I think about that a lot with, especially now, so many families do move quite often.
Oh yes, oh yes,
It's
and
very,
family split, right? It
yeah,
has to be worth.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
very interesting.
so
All
that's
right.
really true.
We got to get to our final question, Inga, and
Okay,
that is, if there was one thing that you would like our audience to remember from our time together, what would that be?
gratitude process. Practice gratitude,
Hmm.
and also focus on being present with everyone around you, because that is the most important thing you have. Don't try to listen to what's happening next. Be there.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Not always easy to do, but it's such a gift when you can.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. Love that. All right, Inger, thank you so much for joining us today. Such a pleasure to have you all the way from Sweden here. That's the joy of our virtual world. We can expand across borders. So thank you again. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us today. I also want to thank our audience for listening in. And if you've liked what you've heard today, please like, follow, share. There's so much out there that women that can benefit from the information that we're sharing on this podcast. And if you are interested in connecting with Inger or Allison or myself, all of our information is in the show notes. You can easily find it there to connect with us. And I also want to give a big thank you to our sponsor, Graciela Valdez, for making this possible. And have a magical day, everyone.
And thank you, Julieta and Allison.
Thank you, Inger.
My pleasure.